What's up guys, welcome to Veldora-kun. From our previous episodes, we have seen the reports on the surrounding nation's actions. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, we will put the links in the description below. You can watch in these videos what happened during the Walpurgis battle and the upcoming events. Just a quick warning, these videos contain spoilers from the light novel. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community. I welcome you to Veldora-kun subordinates, the link is in the description below. See you there. So now in this video we will review what happened next, where Rimuru will meet Adalman and further discuss future plans with the executives. But before we will proceed, please like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now without further ado, let's proceed with the video. Seeing that Diablo has reactivated his energy, Shuna replies with a smile, Rimuru-sama, I have a suggestion. And Rimuru asked her to speak up, so she said, why don't we try seeking the advice of Adalman? It may have been hundreds of years ago, but he was a part of Western Saints Church. Rimuru tries to remember who is Adalman and Raphael responded. Answer, Adalman is the ghost king guarding Clayman's castle. And Rimuru remembers that Adalman was the undead monster who became Shuna's companion. He now became a ghost after losing his life. Adalman is totally wowed when he first met Rimuru and goes on about his gratitude towards God. It seems like he's the type with a severe case of delusional disorder. Since Adalman was once a member of the Western Saints Church, maybe he knows something about its inner workings. There are probably many differences between now and then, but there's no harm in asking. Rimuru agreed, that's a good idea. Let's have a chat with him. As of the moment, Adalman is working with Gabiru in conducting research in the sealed cave as well as security duties. Rimuru sent a thought communication to Gabiru asking him to send Adalman. Adalman immediately showed up to their meeting using his teleportation magic. Even as a ghost, he is still proficient with magic he learned during his living days, some of which seem to be very high-level spells as well. In other words, his magicule reserves may have dropped to around rank B, but his overall power still cannot be underestimated. Adalman is intelligent and magically gifted enough, so Rimuru thinks he have to find a better job to offer the Ghost King. But Adalman still just looks like a skeleton from the outside, and his subordinates cannot be exposed to sunlight and incapable of talking. It may be okay to try and communicate with them, but working around town might be a little tough. The moment Adalman arrived, he kept on praising and expressing his appreciation for Rimuru the entire time, and he continues, my most sincere gratitude to your grace for having granted me an audience. And Rimuru interrupted, enough. Adalman doesn't seem to stop, even when Rimuru ignored his compliments. Sean looks excited and says, you are a promising fellow, and Diablo is looking at Adalman with a smile. Yet the other staff looks bothered by it. Shuna says, that's good for now, Adalman. We're well aware how happy you are to see Rimuru, but we are short of time now, so let's go on with your business. And now Adalman explains that he used to be in the highest position of the Western Saints Church, holding the position of Holy Church Cardinal. During that time, the Holy Empire Ruberios wasn't a real powerhouse of a nation at the time, and the Western Saints Church was in a weaker state. But the executives still learned some detailed information on the organization from Adalman. First, they learned that the Holy Empire Ruberios is a religious state that holds the god Ruminas as their deity. The Pope acts as the spokesman of God, whose identity and appearance was unknown. The imperial throne may or may not be passed down from generation to generation, but Adalman never saw that happen. Also, there is an organization that serves as the highest executive body within the Holy Empire Ruberios, and it is named the Pope's Ministry. Adalman also recalls during his time, the Western Saints Church is nothing but a lowly subgroup under the Pope's ministry. Adalman said, the Western Saints Church began strictly as a missionary group to spread the good word about Ruminism, and it has no standing army at all. However, due to the danger involved with their field of work, the Pope's ministry made demands to the nations under their protection and formed the Templar Knight Order. The people welcomed the knights funded by ministry and promised to cooperate with them. The believers of Rumonism are protected from the threat of monsters, and since the funding comes from other people, anyone would normally agree to such terms. As these relationships with foreign countries grew, disputes began to emerge between Ruberios and other nations. And it was when the Pope's imperial guards entered the scene. Adalman said, "I call it a division, yet the members of the regiment only consist a small handful of people. They are all extraordinarily powerful individuals and had the right to give orders to the Templar Knight Order. As a group, they pledged their loyalty strictly to Ruminas and the Pope, and so even the Archon. By the way, my friend Albert also received the honor to join the Imperial Guards, yet he turned it down so he could serve as my aide in Western Saints Church instead. The Pope rewarded him with the title of Knight Paladin. Albert was the undead knight that gave Hakuru a hard time. Now he has become a skeletal fighter. It is no wonder that he has become so strong, as he possessed sword skills and a monster's strength on top of his masterful swordsmanship. But Adalman isn't finished yet. According to Adalman, the biggest difference lies in the fact that the church has become much more powerful. Its authority has increased with the addition of the Holy Knight Order. Also, when Adalman was around, the 7 celestial sages were powerful figures rivaling the Pope, who also act as the archons. And don't seem to be a group that can be easily dealt with. It seems that they are the ones who had set up the traps that eliminated Adalman's party. The Holy Empire Ruberios came to have the 2 pillars of the Pope's Imperial Guards and the Holy Knight Order. Rimuru replied, "You seem to know a lot about this, Adalman. I see that you have a very good source of information despite staying with Clayman this whole time." And Adalman replies, "Demon Lord Clayman saw the Western Saints Church as his enemy. He feared its power to make war, so he had been diligently collecting information. I was a leader under him after all, though he does not ask for my opinions, he still provided me with the information he had." Rimuru thinks that Clayman's manipulative and calculative side had unexpectedly helped them out. Adalman said, "My lord and savior Rimuru, please be extra cautious. Holy Empire Ruberios is a home of the 10 great saints. I must advise you not to let your guard down." Adalman also mentioned that the Imperial Guards have members who are called the 3 martial sages. They are all masterfully skilled fighters who reach the level of sage. This trio, along with 6 commander-level knights and Hinata, formed the 10 great saints. Adalman pleaded, "Rimuru, my lord, I Adalman was once a church cardinal. Allow me to go persuade this Hinata. I will gladly convince her to abandon her faith in the church and turn it toward you instead." And Rimuru declined him. Stop right there. I don't need any of that, so you can go." Rimuru needed to stop Adalman before things got any weirder. Both Xian and Diablo is moved from Adalman's proposal. Diablo said, "Kufufufufu, there is always that approach," and Rimuru scolded them, "What nonsense are you two spouting? If we try to pull that crap on Hinata, things are gonna get even more complicated. They're very similar in character." Rimuru wonders if they actually liked more than hated each other. Now that Adalman has left, they're going to return to the topic. From all the sufficient information gathered, they can now begin their planning. Rimuru likes to throw some sacrificial pawns to test their opponent's abilities, but who would work for that? Rimuru notices that Veldora has been glancing at him for a while now, but there is no way he can allow that. In Rimuru's mind, no Veldora, not you. When Rimuru is about to say something, Veldora interrupted and exclaimed, Finally, my turn in the spotlight? I've got it covered," and Rimuru responds, "No, Veldora. I would like you to be our last line of defense." Veldora asked why and Rimuru added, "Doesn't that sound really cool, Veldora? The last line of defense. You're the only person I could imagine for the job." And Veldora nodded proudly, "Of course. Great minds think alike." Rimuru thinks that there's no way they would lose if they send Veldora out there, but it feels rather overkill. Also, Rimuru had not given up all hope of talking things over with Hinata. After Veldora settled down, Benimaru begins to talk. "First of all, I will announce my assignments for Master Yam's reinforcements." Benimaru no longer displays his arrogance, and he's gained much experience from his previous battles. Now he could correctly analyze the data at hand and determine the differences between the two sides. He's now more suited for the commander-in-chief job than Rimuru. And that's it for my video. Thank you for watching. It's now time for my subordinates shout-out. I want to thank the following for boosting the server twice. Thanks to Akin46p. Thank you to Venom SBL. Thanks to Goblin Slayer. Also, thanks to the following members for boosting the server. Thank you Richie. Thanks Silver King. Thank you Ambrin. Thank you Riku. Thank you Mr. Nobody. Thank you Skulker FBI. Thank you Doki. Thank you Fury. Thanks to Red Boy. Thank you Osiris. Thanks to Alucard. I would also like to personally shout out Publius. And that's all. Thank you for waiting. I have a surprise, the next video will be uploaded immediately. See you there.